Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Anno 1800. Coming at you with another edition of our Import Island series. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. We start this episode circling high above our blank canvas, which, over the coming episodes, will start to take shape as we begin laying out our plans for how we want this island to look. For today, we will begin by laying out our tourist boulevard that will encircle our residential area and eventually connect all of our tourist attractions to one another. In addition, I'd like to also take some time to finally get around to that warehousing district that I've got planned for the harbor area. So, if all that sounds good to you fine folks, then let's get started. And remember, if you're enjoying this episode as much as I hope you're going to, do not forget to hit that like button. It really does make a very big difference. All right then, let's jump right in. So before we actually do get ourselves started on our plans for this island, there's one thing that came up or that I noticed from our last episode that I actually made a mistake on. I just happened to be swinging by here and I noticed that these two factories are missing goods, and I'm like, how is that? And for some reason, somehow I got it in my head when we were making that last episode that I only needed one filament factories for every two of these, but clearly that's not the case. And so I'm going to have to do a little bit of a rearrangement on how things are going to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by moving some guys around here. And I'm going to go ahead. I need to put the filament factories in. I'm going to put one here. And I'll put this guy here, and I'll move this guy out of the way over here somewhere as well. And then I'm going to get some roads going to connect some of this stuff. So that's going to go like that. That would go like that. And it appears I'm out of bricks, which is not going to be good because I'm going to need more to do that last factory probably, right? Not good. Yeah. All right, I did not expect that. So what I'll do is, dang it, this is going to be annoying. All right, I'm going to do this. Quick little cheat. I'm going to take those bricks away from those guys, and they can have just a regular road in there for now, just for a little bit. I just want to have enough bricks in order to make this road so that this guy's connected here, like that. And I became that. All right, so I'm going to need some more bricks. Let's find a boat that is not too busy doing anything. And where's that guy? I don't want to take bricks away from this place. Let's have him come down here. And whoops. What did I do? I just made a mistake. What happened? Where is that guy? What did I do? Is this him? Yeah, this is him. Okay. Yeah, you go right there, and we will fill you up with the good stuff. Yeah, we'll get some bricks down in there, and we'll just get this guy finished laying out. I'm not 100% sure. I guess I don't mind this. The warehousing's back up here, but this guy, it's not too bad. The glass, he'll pick up the glass here and that there and deliver. It's not the greatest layout in the world, but I'm just going to live with it for now. Maybe I'll make something a little bit better in the near future. But back over here, let's take a look at what's going on. These sewing machines need to get up and running a bit better. That's something I do need to take a look at, because every time I look at it, sometimes it's full, sometimes it's not. And I don't know exactly what the situation is there, but I may need to up things there a little bit. Considering using a trade union, if I can find a guy with a trade union to make those sewing machines more powerful and get them shipped over at a faster rate. So, other than that, though, things are looking pretty good. And I want to start the layout here with, like I said, the tourist boulevard, and I have a good idea of how it's going to look and where it's going to go, but I haven't actually done it, so I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out. We might have to make some adjustments to our plan as things go along. So we're going to start with the hedges. And the hedges are going to be the outside rows, if you will, to our boulevard. And I want to have it right along this edge the closest edge to the rock that will allow me to continue to go straight through. And I want to have it like this. And we're just going to make a nice long road all the way up here. And we'll just take it to, I guess, somewhere, let's say right there for now. Just like that. And then the next step to that. So I've got kind of two thought processes here. It's going to be 5 wide in total, and it's going to have a hedge on either side. But if I go on this inside track, we're taking up more and more space that we eventually want to put housing. But if I go on the inside track here, we run into this problem right here, which could be a bit of a problem. But what I could do is have it come down here and then turn in. I haven't been able to decide that, because the more I look at it, the more I feel like I'm going to be encroaching on too much. Because we've already, by going straight up, we've already kind of cut out a bunch of space here. Because the overall plan is for this area here to be the botanical gardens. And I'm not sure if I've left too much space or not enough or what. It feels like that's a lot of space, but I do want to make my tourist attractions really unbelievable. But I also want to have a lot of space for a residential area as well. All right, so let's just take another look here at some of our other options. We're going to come along here, and I'll start to do the layout on this side a little bit. And I'm going, oops, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to go like that for a second. And I want to be right along here, so let's go like this. And again, I'm just getting the outside. I'm not going to worry too much about making everything perfect. I'm just trying to get the overall layout and size and see how much space we've got. It's going to be in the way here because the zoo is going to be over here, and so the pathway is going to come kind of through this way at some point eventually in the future. For now, of course, we've got stuff in the way, so that's going to kind of be halted a little bit. But if we come like this, where can we come to? Right around here, it looks like. And then maybe we go down here. So that gives us that edge there. And if we were to come straight down this line, where does that take us to down here? Yeah, a little bit. That takes us to there. If we stay on the same line and basically make the indent over here equivalent to the indent here. And then this is going to be the tourist harbor. And then we'll have like a nice park area that people kind of, move their way into before going on to the pathways. So that's going to be something we have to sort out. I'm just trying to think. I feel like I don't have enough space to be wasting on doing that. But before I do anything else, let's go ahead. And we'll make that kind of a last decision. I'm going to take this guy all the way down to here. And I would bring this guy over to here. Like that. And essentially what that'll be is up in here will be the museum. Which is that's probably the smallest area that we're leaving right there is the museum. Depending on what one I want to be, I could potentially switch that and make this the botanical gardens and do the museum over here. I'd have to take a look at exactly how much we have for each and whatnot. And of course down here is going to be the World's Fair, which I think is the biggest area and requires the biggest area as well. So if this is our layout, that means that if we do it this way, let's go here. So that means this guy would go like this. And he would go to there. Nope. That isn't right. And then we'll put this guy. Oh man, it's so hard to see through all the trees. 1, 2, 3. So this guy would go like this. Up here. Celebrate your leadership. And we would go to something like this. And down into there somewhere. So really, you start to see an idea of inside this is really our area to make our thing. And we're also going to make a big park inside of that too. Which makes me really feel like, I mean, by the time you even put all this stuff in there, it's getting a lot tighter than I thought it would. I'm almost wondering if what we really want to do is move this over some, for sure. Yeah, and not worry about it being perfectly symmetrical turns and stuff, like symmetrical this way and symmetrical that way and that. Because I feel like I need to try and kind of cut this off more over here. And we'll just come to this edge and then turn in and just go ahead and let this be the space. I can't afford to give up that much space, I don't think. So let me go ahead and get rid of this. I think it's just a little bit too tight. So what we'll do is instead we'll go ahead and grab the very edge here. This is the best spot we can get there. So if we go like this, straight up through here, like that. Then we have the pathway going here, and then of course the pathway would turn in here. Like this.
The festival has ended.
Oh, that's not what I want to do. The pathway would go like this to here. And then come down here. And I guess we'll go up there. 1, 2, 3. 2, something like that. And then if I went like this, that would start to give us an idea there. Yeah, that buys us, that's a big difference in space that we've bought there by opening up that. And then we still have plenty of room for the botanical gardens on the side there. And of course, like this will come down in here. We've got this border going there. Looks pretty good. And then I think what I'll do as well is instead of worrying about well, actually I could just I don't know. Because this isn't buying us any space by moving this over this way. And it does allow us to have this line be symmetrical with that line, which is a bit of a start anyway. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and keep it like that for now. So we'll go like this. 1, 2, 3, and come down here. So that's a start. Now, the next step is we are going to have the paving here like this. And the paving is going to be the next line in essentially on both sides like this. And bring this down here like that. And like that.
The festival has ended.
And we'll just wrap this all the way around like that. And then down the middle, what we're going to do is we're going to have a mixture of just grass. And then at times there'll be like the occasional tree kind of staggered out as well. And stuff like that. And then every once in a while there'll be kind of like a turnoff, if you will, that allows it to have access. Like obviously this would be the botanical garden, so wherever the entrance is there'll be like a turnoff or whatever. And then we'll also want to have a turnoff that goes every once in a while. We'll kind of venture into the center. And don't forget, of course, as well, that we have to figure out a way to get the rail for our power. So the power will somehow come up into here, and then we'll have staggered around. We'll have power stations. It's funny, this ended up a lot more square than I thought it would be. you kind of get the feeling like it's long, but we actually have a lot of room up this way, and it ended up getting kind of short and cut off this way because of the big mountains. So layout's going to be an interesting situation for sure. It's going to be interesting. But what I'd like to do is, essentially what will happen is, and I'm not going to do every last little piece of it, but it'll look something like, when you come in here, you might have like a tree at some point, and then maybe some grass, and then a bush, and more grass, and then a tree, or something like that. Keep it very simple. You don't want it to be like nothing but trees. You want it to be have some sort of level of openness about it. And also at some point, not on video, I'm going to sort out the hedges and make sure, like, it's going to be very nitpicky, but I want to have like the benches lined up kind of equally to one another, so that they're not like 6 benches all really close together and then not another bench for 200 yards or whatever. So I'll try to move those around myself when I have time, and kind of perfect how those come across and appear. So yeah, I think this is kind of a good idea. Maybe the occasional flower bed. Maybe we do some flower beds every once in a while. I don't know. I'd really be curious actually to see what you guys think. I would love to see the comments fill up with ideas for what you'd like to see this section actually end up looking like. And would you like to see more trees? Would you like to see it kind of be lined with trees? More than we've got here? More flower beds? More bushes? I want it to have an open feel. I don't want it to be nothing but trees. But yeah, I don't know. You guys let me know. And that will lead us to what our eventual appearance. And also pick trees out as well. I'd be curious to see what kind of trees you guys want. Because as we drop down in here, like I said, I don't want it to be nothing but trees and bushes. I want it to kind of have somewhat of an open feel. And, you know, occasionally there'll be a cross path maybe. But what trees do you like? Do you like the elms? Do you like the big green ones? Would you rather see something more formal? Sounded like I was just walking through water there. We have the option of going with something like the aspens are nice. Where am I? I'm all over the place here. There we go. We've got the aspens, which are nice as well. I actually kind of like the aspens. Like that. And we also have the option of going like with the poplars. They're a little bit smaller and more formal looking. We could do those. I kind of like the bigger ones because there's not going to be a lot of trees on the island, right? We're going to be filling this up with a lot of stuff. So areas like this will be some of the few spots where we actually get to add some greenery. So having some nice big trees would be good. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. And I hope that looks good to you guys. You guys let me know what you think about exactly how you like the look to be, and that's going to be the layout. And then we'll figure out a way to, maybe the big park goes this way. We'll do like an engineering section here, maybe a few engineers, you know, off in the corners or something, and then a great big around a big park. We'll have the big investor section. And hopefully we can fit a lot in. We're gonna have to. I don't want to squeeze them in. I don't want them to feel like they're just completely squeezed. But we're gonna have to get to a certain number of them at least, right? So, all right. So let's take a quick look here at some ideas for the warehousing. So as you come down in here, like I was saying in the previous episodes, I want to have some warehousing in here, but I'm not 100% sure how I want it to look. I for sure like the idea of the fence, the actual fences. Whoops, I hit a wrong button there, sorry. So as an example, I could see maybe some fencing that went like, I don't know, like this. It's a little bit formal, but I'd like maybe even less formal fence, but I'm not sure if there's much of an option. What I'd probably do is take the time off recording, to take away any of the flower pots and stuff and try to make it look... Man, that looks way too formal though, I feel like. It's not... I mean, I want it to look nice too though, right? And it'll kind of be dulling up the area. We'll have warehouses We could kind of have the warehouses go. We want warehouse looking like that, and then I don't know. I'm just honestly just throwing out some ideas here because haven't put a lot of thought into exactly what it would end up looking like. And of course, these aren't going to be really particularly functional. It's just really just aesthetics. We don't have quite as much space as I like. And of course, these would get upgraded and start to look really, really nice. Maybe I have like 2 and then do the road. Like 2 right beside each other and then have the road come around. That might be an idea.
It's all prepared.
Whoops. So if I was to move this guy up here and upgrade him, and we would want to rotate him, and maybe he goes right against it, and then get the road like this, go like that. Let me think. We could create a little bit of extra space because we have space, you know, left to right, but much less space, of course. Like that. And then these ones here, I think I'd want to turn around. Yeah. And then there, of course, would be a fence along the back here. And then what I would probably do is, if I'm going to just keep that fence, is what I'd probably do is just make them all, like, I would go through and take the time to make them so that the only thing there would ever be is trees or nothing. And none of the flower pots or any of the fancier looking stuff. Or even benches. Just nice, straightforward. And that kind of creates what I think will actually kind of meld nicely with the... Once it's done. Because, of course, this in the future will go away. And we would have a little bit more space. We could actually have a little bit more space to make this look a little bit nicer. And that just not be quite so squeezed in. And then... Yeah, like, and then of course I do have the idea of possibly having one small little non-engineering investor residential area down in here somewhere, kind of off to the side of the zoo, and that could potentially live up in here a little bit. It would be quite small, but kind of have a rustic feel to it, and it would just kind of create a completion to the island, I feel. And then that could flow into this. And so because this would actually essentially, you know, you kind of mirror it over here and have something along this section as well. And it would basically kind of go the length of the warehousing. And then what you'd probably even want to do, actually, is you'd want to probably go something like this. Right? You'd want to have something like that, I would imagine. And then you could, instead, you would end the fence. Well, it depends. You'd have, yeah, it doesn't matter. You could use the end ones, like, where are they? Like this. And of course, you don't want the flower pots. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like feel like you want the fence to go right up to the edge, because if anything, you want it to almost look like it's a bit of security. Like the fence is there. The whole point of the fence is to make it look like you're creating some level of security for the warehousing area, right? So having the fence go right up to the edge actually makes a lot more sense. And then yeah, you could have another road go through there. Like that. But again, like I said, this will go away, so that this edge kind of doesn't make as much sense. But I feel like this is actually looking pretty good. I don't know, I'd be curious to see what you guys think as well. So there should be a ton of comments in the section down below, letting me know what you guys think about some of the options. But I like the way this warehouse is going. We could do this like even like 2 more times over here and then a couple times over there, and kind of like, you know, this again here and then this again here. and it kind of flow, and then it lets it flow and just have another section, because obviously the concept of this is import island, right? So not only do you have this massive harbor where you have all of this influx of goods, and of course this is a lot of storage in here as well, but you feel like you'd, you know, just kind of compound that concept and say, all right, we need a warehousing section, almost like a distribution area, right? So this is the warehousing for the harbor, and then this would almost be like the distribution area where all the stuff's brought in and then distributed out to the city, because there's literally nothing but imports. Everything that the city gets would come through here. And so it creates a lot of, you know, a theme basically, and it completes the theme and kind of role plays it out for you. And I think it's going to look pretty good. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll kind of continue with what I've come up with here. And when you come back for the next episode, you'll see this. Oh, I forgot about the paper. I feel like when you come back, you'll have an idea what this will look like. We probably can't give it a full complete look until we've eliminated this area, which will be a little bit down the road. And of course, we have to accommodate for the fact that we need the rail to come in somewhere too. So maybe we can get 2 warehouses in and then have the rail come up through the warehousing, wherever that direction's going to go, and then another couple warehouses on that side as well. So that's something that's going to be accommodated for, but it gives us a start of an idea, right? And we can start to take a look at how that can end up looking for the future. So yeah, there you go. I think real quick before the end of the episode, we want to get on to the passage expedition. The Narrows. The west coast of Terrier Island is snaggling up with monstrous horns of ice. Navigation is going to be tricky. Will the Narrows lead back once more to open water, or will your ship end up stuck? You can navigate carefully, get a better view of the channels from a nearby rock, or send scouts ahead in rowboats to sea. Looks like we've got some good options here. Find a path of the Narrows, 140 on navigation, 75 on force, or 100 on hunting. I think obviously we go with the navigation. We brought all these people along for a reason. To their relief, your crew reach the open sea on the other side. As there is a lack of consensus on magnetic north at this time, your navigators decide to ignore the compasses and trust their instincts, saving them a collision on more than one occasion. The crew enters King William Sound, a majestic carpet of water leading up to its seat, King William Island. Sensing something, Lady Faithful suddenly emerges from below deck, and voices the determined hopes of her heart. Oh my.
We shouldn't expect to find him right away. This is a vast wilderness. It's been 2 years. The Admiralty say they've tried everything. Then they have lost a husband.
Wow.
Nor did it occur to them to search King William Sound. There! The camp!
Oh my god, this looks amazing.
Abandoned. We imagined as much, didn't we? My John picked a fine spot. Perhaps they left some sign as to where they went.
God, this game. Oh my lord.
I did say there would be rewards.
Ooh, 50,000, thanks.
Finding my John's camp.
Well, there we go. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, I kind of wish there were almost longer journeys to be had.
From here, we can search to any length and breadth.
So certainly this adventure will continue over here. So this is kind of the beginning of what we know, I guess. And then, of course, we have the big passage up here. This is the big area up there. So we're kind of at the entrance, and we've got all kinds of stuff to figure out. We've got, ooh, very interesting. Very interesting stuff. All right, well, we have a lot to do. And of course, as you guys should know by now, these series, both the Cape Trelawney and the Passage, are going to be separate series as we explore those expeditions and all of the stuff that has to be offered in those new worlds. So stay tuned for more of that on the channel. But as for now, we are going to say goodbye because that's the end of this video, and we have found what is an abandoned camp. And oh my god, am I excited about putting this series together. All right, folks, thank you very much for joining me. Do appreciate it. Do not forget, I need some comments down below. I need you guys to give me a little guidance on where you'd like to see some of that stuff go that we discussed today. All right, so yeah, take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.